ज़ह नसीब, ज़ह नसीब, तुझे चाहूं बेतहाशा ज़ह नसीब, मेरे करीब, मेरे हबीब, तुझे चाहूं बेतहाशा ज़ह नसीब, तेरे संग बीते हर लम्हे पे हमको नाज है, तेरे संग जो ना बीते उस पे एतराज है, इस कदर हम दोनों का मिलना एक राज है, हुआ अमीर दिल गरीब, तुझे चाहूं बेतहाशा ज़ह नसीब.
Yeah, we're creative and talkative. There's no stopping this, there's no topping this. Time to explain what's in our veins, what's in our minds. Take a peek into these lives. Yeah, we're creative and talkative. There's no stopping this, there's no topping this.
We are super thrilled and excited today as we get talkative with Shekhar Ravjiani, who is the country's leading and super talented music director, singer, record producer, and actor. He, along with his other half, Vishal Dadlani, are widely regarded as the architects of modern Bollywood music. Having composed music for innumerable movies like Jhankaar Beats, Bluffmaster, Golmaal, Ravan, Om Shanti Om, Chennai Express, Sultan, and the recently launched Pathaan, Shekhar has just launched his own record company, Garudaa Music. His love for devotional music and passion for live performances is what keeps him happy and smiling. So let's hear about his transformation, passion, and his latest single, Love, from the man himself. I want to start the conversation by asking why he आया.
मजा में आया. Thank you.
Okay, he showed the कच्ची में गाल के was like another level. मुझे इतनी मजा आ थी that you finally come. I want to first begin by telling you that you look fabulous. You always look fabulous. I think before this you had this long.
Yeah, I had this COVID long hair.
Correct.
Which I didn't feel like getting a haircut.
Right. So that was a very like Sufi sort of a look.
Yeah.
And now you have this very like.
I don't know. It's just like it's one of those kind of things where you don't want to cut your hair.
And then of course this is this new look which also looks.
Yeah,
really
I just
good.
chopped it off completely.
Correct. Yeah. You've always looked great, but right now I think it's a combination of the things that you're doing and the space that you're in. So I've heard you talking about the fact that the last couple of years have been self transformation.
Yeah.
You finally found your calling.
Yeah.
You've fallen back in love with music.
Yeah.
How did it happen and what happened?
So I think it just happened a few months before COVID struck. And I think when things just started slowing down and we all started realizing that, this is going to head to a lockdown, I took a decision of starting my brand new life from that day. So a lockdown for the world was an unlock for me.
Okay.
So I unlocked myself that day. And I decided that every day I'm going to write a song. Every day. So I employed myself for a 9 to 6 job. So I said I'm going to sit on this chair at 9 in the morning and I'm only going to get up at about 5:36 when the song is over.
Wow. Every single day.
Every day. And I had a few lyricist friends of mine who were on constant phone calls with me because they were at home and they were enjoying the whole process of fearless writing and freedom and not being judged or not being... So I took a different route here. I was like, there is no situation, there is nothing. I am going to start writing like the way I used to write before I joined films. So before I did my first film song, I decided I'm going to kind of go on making the music I am least worried about. It's like an artist loves to create, an artist should create. There is a way of expression, could be happy, could be sad, could be thrilling, could be like more of a journey, could be about, your past, could be a memory. And there are so many beautiful topics to kind of touch when you kind of, as a musician sitting on the piano and what ragas you're playing and what notes you're playing, and suddenly it takes you back to one
Right.
time of yours.
Of course.
So I decided, let me kind of express through my time. So I started doing that, and every day I started writing one song. And then in the evening, I used to go for a walk in my building. And I used to take a transfer of that on my headphones and used to hear my songs every day. So then after a week, I used to compile my 7 songs, then 7 songs. And then suddenly in 4 weeks, I realized I had nice 30 songs on.
Wow. But
So I have collected a lot of, a wrong thing would be to say material, but the right thing would be to say a lot of expressions of myself. And free expressions. Expressions which were like very valuable. So I started falling in love with my craft. I started falling in love with myself. And started respecting me even more.
Wow. How wonderful.
Yeah. These 3 years it has been very tough on all of us.
Yeah.
And for the rest of the world. But it's also given us a mirror to see who
Who we actually are.
we are and what we always wanted to do.
Tell me about your childhood, where you were born and your growing up years, and your first sort of brush with music.
So I'm from Bombay, from a business family. We are Kachis. I kind of was very fortunate that my mum and dad, both of them, they love music. So music was 360 in my house.
Correct.
And I was growing up, and my dad became friends with Jagjit. And Jagjit Singh Sahab used to come to our house very regularly. And I was 7, 8 years old, and 9 years old. And we had a piano in my living room, and I used to see Dad playing, I used to see Jagjit playing. And in my head, I was like, okay, I want to start learning. I started doing Indian classical vocals, but I wasn't very serious about it. I used to love music, but I used to, I didn't give it as much time as I should have given it. I kind of was told to learn theory first. And I think at that point, I feel I was bored by the Sarega, Rega, Ma, Ga, Ma, Pa, Ma, Pa, Da.
Correct.
To write all these things down, all the sargams down. So for half an hour, you're only writing the sargams. But which are important.
Yeah.
ऐसा नहीं है कि गलत है.
Correct.
ऐसे सिखाना चाहिए. It's
Right.
important. And then my piano, so obviously crotchet, quaver, semi-demi quaver, semi-quaver, was writing Western music. So writing. Then grade 1, grade 2, grade 3, you have your books. So you're reading and then you're playing. What you're reading, you're playing. Okay. So I didn't find any soul connect in that. Like my soul was not happy. But the beautiful thing was the last 10 minutes of my piano class used to be a popular song, like Bryan Adams' song or one of those pop artists, which my sir used to play. And I used to just observe him playing, and he used to tell me which chords to play. So those 10 minutes were the most, I used to look forward to those 10 minutes. And when my sir left, I used to call my friends over and I used to play that piece for them. But then I went to Ustad Niyaz Ahmed Khan Sahab, which Jagjit ji actually took me there, and that was a life-turning experience for me. Because I think Niyaz Ahmed Khan Sahab, the way he used to teach, he made me a composer, let's put it that way. I could create a little, but his method of teaching made me a creator. And then I started writing a lot of songs, and I had a keyboard with a tape recorder and blank cassettes. So I used to play music and I recorded on my tape and played for my friends.
And how old were you then?
I was all about 13, 14 years old.
Wow.
At 16, I was a professional music director for ad films.
You started off with advertising?
Advertising, yes.
Yeah.
A friend's friend came over one day and he used to work with Mr. Mukul Anand.
Okay.
at Mad Films. So he took my tape and went to Mr. Mukul sir and said, this boy has created this. And Mukul sir was making a film called Dust by then, which was the one with Salman Khan and Sanjay Dutt, which got shelved. So he asked me to do a few tracks for it. He was very impressed. I want to meet this boy right now. I want you to make some music for me. So I made 2 or 3 songs for him at that point. And from his team, there was his assistant director, Raj Kaushal, who actually told me to do his ad. So it was a 20-second, 30-second, 15-second. So I kind of got into that zone. What was good about me and why people liked me a lot was I was very fast. I used to finish an ad in about an hour with everything.
Oh, then advertising people will love you.
Advertising people went absolutely.
Everything is wanted yesterday.
They were super. तो दिन में 3 करेगा क्या? हाँ 3 नहीं मैं 6 करेगा. So I used to do 6 ads in a day. So the advertising career like really kicked off because one person got in touch and then second and third, and then I realized that I'm working with a lot of production houses. I had clients who used to pay me on the same day.
Oh, really?
Yeah, so I used to finish my ad and the checkbook used to be there and they used to give me a check.
Wow. What else do you need?
So I was very happy.
As a teenager.
As a teenager means I used to be like, I used to only buy gear from that. So musician का एक problem ये रहता है that musician never stays rich because पैसा आया तो अच्छा ये नया है ये ले ये नया गिर है ये लो suddenly you're like lots of gears. And
so you were so happy doing that, but you knew that you wanted to eventually get into.
No, I didn't know that.
Oh.
I didn't know. I was just going with the flow.
Okay.
I thought I was always going to be on advertising, but I used to keep on making songs. I used to kind of make lots and lots of music.
So then how did your first break in films happen?
So again, Raj Kaushal, who I used to work regularly with, one day he gave me a call and said, "Bhai, मैं picture बना रहा हूँ." New star cast है completely, and Rinki Khanna was being launched everyone was being launched,
Right.
like Sanjay Suri,
Yeah.
Dino Moria, and everyone in the film, from the production house to the record label, Sony Music, first album, everyone, it was everyone's first. So I was quite excited that first film is released.
Right.
Yeah.
And then, of course, that was like they say, the rest is history.
The rest is history.
So the next thing that I want to talk about is the creative process. So like in advertising or in any of the design or any of these industries, we're cracking an idea and then you have an aha moment. So does the same thing happen with music?
When an artist feels something immediately, and when this aha moment happens, we all feel it, right?
Correct.
But when you're doing work for hire basis, in the sense if you are supposed to do something for somebody, you have to remember that you're working for someone else.
Correct.
Right, and you have to present according to a brief, you have to present something. And I feel, let rejections happen, but if you're a genuine artist, you should know how to kind of create another option immediately.
Absolutely.
I see a lot of people getting very sensitive about this because a lot of artists
Can't handle rejection.
they can't handle rejection. They're like, हमने best किया, ये कैसे reject कर सकते? आपको समझ में नहीं आ रहा है.
Correct.
एंड आई फील कि अगर आप में बात है और आपको लगता है कि आप मेहनत कर सकते हो, तो मेहनत के थ्रू आप और भी ज़्यादा ऑप्शंस क्रिएट कर सकते हो. सो आई टेक इट वेरी चैलेंजिंग. फॉर मी आई एक्सेप्ट इट एज अच्छा, maybe I can do better than this.
Also, does it ever happen that, say, for example, you've cracked, say, a tune or a melody, and when you listen to it, you know that this is a blockbuster or a hit in the making.
Yeah.
But you're not really satisfied with it.
See, the thing is, you have to, at some point, let it go. The thing is, you can't dwell with it for a long time.
Right.
You'll prepare something, you'll create something. Why are you creating it? Because it makes you happy. And what do you want? You want this thing to go out to the world so people hear it. Your objective is that.
Right.
You'll feel like doing a lot of things with it.
Yeah.
Right? As a creator, you want to.
Yeah, correct.
गाना बन गया है.
Right.
Oh God, should I just change the beat of it?
Yeah.
Oh God, ये change करूँ क्या? चलेगा क्या? All these thoughts are basically, they are those sub thoughts.
Right, of course.
Which are there under. Those are layers which are there. But at some point you have to fall in love with something and let it go.
So usually what comes first? Does the music come first or do the lyrics come first, or sometimes it just depends?
So I think for me 99% has been the tune first.
Okay.
But it's also happened that I have some great lyricist friends who I work with who have presented something to me as a poetry, and I've actually composed something on it.
So when you say, for example, you get briefed on a commercial film,
All right.
and then the way you're briefed is like there are going to be X number of songs, and then you're given some kind of a background. Is that how you begin, and then you come up with a tune on based on that, or how does it happen?
See, it depends on the kind of filmmaker you're working with.
Okay,
There's a filmmaker who actually understands music, will give you the zone of music.
understood.
A filmmaker who is not very sure will tell you there's a love song and a dance song.
Okay, right,
But then you have to find your zone of a love song and a dance song.
correct.
Or you have to try and create a new genre, a new style, a new way of communicating a new expression through your music.
Right.
There are some directors who actually sit on the lyrics. They also know the rag which you're kind of working on. They also know that they want a thumri style of music.
But then does that bother or interfere?
No, it's beautiful.
Okay.
Clarity is the most important thing for any creative person.
Right.
Like you're working with somebody
Yeah,
and it's for somebody,
Right.
and then that person comes and says, you know what, I want these 4 lines and I want color in the middle. I think it's a collaborative process. When you're working with somebody, it's a collaborative process.
Okay.
And you have to enjoy those collaborations. You
Yeah,
have to
of
enjoy
course.
the,
yeah,
like we are sitting here and there are people with
Right.
us, and it would not be possible without them.
correct.
So I think it's a collaborative process. And when you're doing your own individual music or your individual stuff, then you are your own creator.
Correct.
You are your own designer. Like that painting you've made on the wall,
Yeah.
you created that and you
Yeah.
put it up.
Correct. Right.
You're not expecting it to be globally
Yeah,
recognized,
yes, I know.
or you don't want to sell it somewhere else. It comes with a lot of purity,
Yeah.
and I think that is an artist's individual expression.
Do adding a lot of instruments always help, or do you think that, you know, when the instruments are minimal, because there are some songs, you know, when you hear them, you don't remember what are the instruments. You just remember, either you remember the tune, or you know that you love the singer or the way it's been sung. So does it always work? Any extra instruments I want to add? Or?
So there's this line from advertising which I've actually carried forward into my mainstream Bollywood: is less is more.
Correct.
So I prefer keeping it less.
Does music, and this you can answer as a musician or you can just answer as a listener. So does music always, help you focus, or sometimes you think also distracts?
If
from-
you're in a banquet hall in Delhi and there are 3 weddings happening at the same time, and there are 3 Bhangra tracks playing at the same time,
No, not like that.
then it is noise.
Yeah.
But when you're sitting and watching a classical concert or a jazz concert, then it's meditative. Everyone reacts to music differently. I know a lot of my friends and their kids who listen to my Hanuman Chalisa when they wake up in the morning, and they listen to my Hanuman Chalisa when they go to sleep. So music kind of, it has its own way of connecting with you. Whatever that genre is,
Yeah.
it'll come and connect with you in some way or the other.
Yeah.
There is some music which might sound like noise to you.
Right.
Like if you're a big fan of pure Marathi classical music, folk music, which I love very much, by the way.
Oh,
I love old Marathi music. So
wow.
whenever I'm driving, there is this channel where I keep on playing all these old Marathi music.
Marathi
With
songs.
beautiful compositions,
Right.
simple, no wannabe-ness to the
Right.
pure
Yeah.
rag based,
Yeah.
great singing, simple instrumentation.
Right.
So that connects to me strongly.
So music is the biggest connection we have with memories. So
Yeah.
sometimes when you're in a particular phase in your life and then you listen to that song a little later, it takes you back to that time.
Yeah.
Sometimes it takes you to not very good memories. Say if
Yeah.
you're not in that relationship or not in that space
Yeah,
anymore.
yeah. Yeah, it happens to
Correct.
everybody.
Yeah.
It happens to me for sure. You also smell music. It's a very bizarre thing, because the thing is, you will remember a time in your life when a certain song used to play, and at that same time there was something being cooked in the house,
Oh, like that.
and then you connect to the smell.
Wow. Okay.
It's a very, I think it's my observation. But there is something got to do with every sense in your body. Like I still remember when someone plays songs of Qayamat se Qayamat Tak, it takes me back to my 6th standard class, where everyone used to kind of, and one boy in the class used to think that he's Amir Khan. So he used to wear his hair like that and he used to dance. So it'll connect you to something.
Right.
Suddenly when you connect that, you'll also smell that bread butter sandwich someone has brought in a tiffin
Yeah, actually you're right.
at the same time. So it's a crazy connect of all senses coming together through music.
Wow, unbelievable. Huh?
It's crazy.
I don't think there's anything else in the world that does that.
It's crazy.
Apart from
It
music.
just joins everything. It's like a dot. It's like connects everything like,
Wow.
galaxy of stars, and then you suddenly seeing a connection happening everywhere.
The role of music, especially in our country, very often we see is only for entertainment. Whereas we were talking the other day कि hospitals में music क्यों नहीं बजता है या animal shelters में music क्यों नहीं बजता है? Because music can be used beautifully as therapy.
Music itself, as for an artist, is therapy. For a creator, is therapy. When you're, some people ask me, "आप क्या काम करते हो?" इसमें काम नहीं करता हूँ. Like God has blessed me with this whole therapy where I'm blessed that I can sing. I'm blessed that I can play the piano. I'm blessed that I can compose. I'm blessed that I can be on stage in front of 50,000 people and communicate with them, sing for them. So we all are kind of blessed in a certain way where a singer or a creator is himself getting therapy. So a singer should never be sad in their life because
correct.
they're getting therapy all the time
all
through
the time,
music.
yes.
Unless you are thinking of music as a different thing. For me, music was always a gift, will always be a gift, and it's a therapy for me. So I'll never need a therapist in my life.
So you've sung in not only Hindi and English but also in Marathi, Tamil, Telugu.
Yeah,
Am I right?
yeah.
So do you think you really need to know the language, or do you think if you just understand the meaning of the song and if you get the pronunciation right and you're working alongside someone who knows the language, then that's good enough?
I think because we live in Maharashtra, so it becomes very easy for us to kind of connect with Marathi immediately. And because of my love for Marathi music, that's my first single was a Marathi song, Sazani, which is one of the most popular songs in Maharashtra at the moment.
Of course. In fact, even the song that you won for Haravli Pakre is a Marathi song, right?
Yeah.
I think that was one of the first songs you won for.
Yeah, my first Marathi playback song.
Wow.
For a film called Balak Palak,
Huh.
directed by Ravi Jadhav.
Yes.
Yeah.
And then of course we have Savali.
Savali Kash. Okay, what was the lyrics? I forgot.
Kashi chhadte मला.
सावली तुझी कशी छडते मला अलगद येऊन जाते हृदयात देऊन जाते याद तुझी साध तुझी I have forgotten तिच्या पाशी नेना येना नेना ग सावली तुझी कशी छडते मला.
So again another song Gehra Ishq is but that was for a film in which you acted. So let's move on to that. Okay, how come after the way you look and the way you've acted and the way you have been in the film, उसके बाद हमने आपको films में देखा क्यों नहीं?
So my again I feel acting is an expression like music. So you basically have it or you don't have it. So acting is one of those kind of things. I was approached in the year 2007 where I was judging on Saregamappa, which was very, very popular. And the whole world saw me there, and I started getting a lot of offers for films, but nothing kind of moved for some reason. And there was a very big film which was offered to me with a very big cast along with me.
Wow, okay.
2 girls and me. That was with a very big director. We did workshops for about 3 months, and the beginning of the 4th month, the project fell through.
Oh, okay.
So it's for me. These are all education times for me. I feel every step of your life is like a learning.
Of course.
And this journey was so interesting for me that it was like the workshops were happening more than the films were happening. Films were not happening, but the workshops were happening,
Right.
which was a lot of fun. And then one day, finally, I had a meeting with Atul Kaspekar, who was making a film called Nirja. He was like, listen, will you do a small part in the film I'm making? I said, what are you making? And who's directing the film?
Yeah.
So he said, Ram Madhwani.
Yeah.
I said, Ram is a very old buddy from advertising days. You know, such a lovely guy, such a lovely human being, and a great director.
Yeah.
I said, done. कर रहा हूँ मैं, पक्का है. He said, कितना छोटा है? I said, बहुत छोटा है. I said, करता हूँ मैं. I said, who's the lead? So like Sonam Kapoor. I said, excellent.
Wow.
I said, how many days of shoot? He said, 4 or 5 days of shoot. I said, great, I'll do it.
So when Creative Talkative makes its first film,
Yeah,
we'll come to you.
yeah, come to me. Yeah.
Now that you know.
Come to me for a small part
A
first.
small part first.
If I do well, then you can offer me the big part.
I love your Hanuman Chalisa. Like you said, a lot of people listen to it in the morning, and I've heard it so many times.
Yeah.
And whether it is your song for Devi or Mahamrityunjay Jap or
Yeah.
any of these things.
Yeah.
So this is something that you've always felt that you wanted to do, or at some point in your life you just felt that you wanted to do it and then you got into it.
So I've always been a very spiritual person. And I remember my grandmother, just before she passed away, she was like, you do so many songs, you must do a bhajan also.
Okay.
I said, yeah, I'll do it. But I never came close to even trying or attempting something.
Right.
And when she passed away, after a few months, I was sitting in the studio and I gave myself 5-10 minutes of sitting on the keyboard, and in 15 minutes I created the Hanuman Chalisa. And that gave me energy, that reminded me of my promise to her that I will do something in devotional music, and I will sing the Hanuman Chalisa. So I did that. I feel I'm the mediator between
हाँ ऐसे होता है ना.
the prayer and the people.
Yeah.
So I'm just was lucky enough to be chosen by God.
Live performances. Okay. How are live performances different from when you're recording or doing a music video?
Energy is pretty much.
Yeah.
It's loud. It's fun. It's dancey
Yeah.
in the studio, but there are 3 people, 4 people. And
Right.
when you're taking the same song to the audience, you kind of feel the love of thousands and thousands of
Yeah.
people. I enjoy doing both. I enjoy feeling the vibe before the world has heard it, and I love the reaction and the love from the audience.
Your new baby, which is
Garuda
your
music. Garuda music,
Garuda
yeah.
music, yeah. So this was something which was in the pipeline, or did it just happen like?
So
the
first day
other
of lockdown, I decided the name and the logo
Oh really?
when I started.
Wow. Okay.
So that manifestation from that time till now has kind of unfolded at this point.
So your latest song, which is Love, which I think we all heard it and
Yeah,
we really loved
yeah,
it. And how we can expect songs in the similar zone, or they're all very different kinds.
They're all expressive, beautifully expressive, and I think every month you'll hear something
Okay.
new, something fresh, some collaborations, some solos, a lot of fun. Again, that fearless, expressive behavior of putting out what you felt, what you feel, and hoping that the audience kind of reacts to it.
तुमसे ज्यादा किसी को मैंने चाहा नहीं, क्योंकि मेरी नजर को कोई तुमसा मिला तो नहीं। तेरी बातें करता हूँ दिन रात मैं, तेरा मेरा कुछ भी हो मिलना है तेरा। हुआ है मुझे तुमसे हुआ है, मुझे लगता है ये जो हो रहा है धीरे धीरे उसे ऐसे ही होने दो। लव हुआ है मुझे तुमसे हुआ है, मुझे लगता है ये जो हो रहा है धीरे धीरे उसे ऐसे ही होने दो। इस बार तो पहले से ज्यादा हूँ मैं इश्क में, तेरे इश्क में। ये सच है क्योंकि सोई नहीं आंखें जब से